Because a lot of people
we can fit that in with the FBI.
Especially with you,
I won't
since
start
you
out
don't
with the
vote.
FBI.
I'm determined to make you vote this year.
You don't vote?
So, this is Jeremy McKinnon Hector with Dreadnaught coming at you. One thing I wanted to start off with is going to be kind of like a multi-topic episode. But I was thinking, we just had this large biker festival in down in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and there's a lot of people that come into town, and probably some people that were affiliated with different biker gangs, and
some people ain't gonna never leave.
Yeah, and more than likely, if those people were down here, there were probably people from the Federal Bureau of Investigation or some other surveillance team, just to kind of keep things in line or to follow them, just because
keep things along line.
They got attention behind them. But see, that's one thing that you wouldn't normally think about, going to like a big gathering like that and looking at who's there. Like, I wouldn't have thought really that there would be FBI there a few years ago. I look into it now because of some of the stuff I've read and the things I've been open to. But
the one rule that I think everybody should always follow is follow the money. That much revenue in one place, of course, is going to be every type of law enforcement agency possible there.
Well, think about this. Like, if you go to a party, if you go to a party and there's people that are possibly drug dealers there, you don't think there could be someone there that's like,
of course,
but there could be. But they could be.
Exactly,
of course.
But most people wouldn't think about that going to a party. You know
no,
what I'm
they
saying?
do. I mean,
well, we do.
But we shouldn't be at a party like that anyway, because
yeah, exactly.
My economic standing should be a lot better if I could go to parties like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But as far as like bikes, blues, and barbecue go,
there's just so many people there.
You gotta think about the laws.
You
gotta think about the laws. You gotta think about the drug use. You gotta think about the city covering their ass on insurance and the buildings and everything, the alcohol consumption, firearms, outstanding cases that some of these people already have. The real bikers as opposed to the yuppie bikers, and because a big thing that happens is people steal bikes.
Weekend warriors.
But the real bikers steal the yuppie bikers' bikes, strip them down, and resell them.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I mean? That's when the cops know that that's going to happen. That's something they you know what I mean? Like at music festivals, they pretty much know the crimes that are going to take place there, and so they're already there for that. You know what I mean? In certain things.
How crazy would that be, though, to be like an officer and have, like, at a music festival and have all these people around you just under the influence of who knows whatever they can find.
Think about how the Secret Service felt when they were at Lollapalooza or whatever with the first orders, and they're sitting there trying to look all straight-laced and everybody around them has it. You know, it's got to be like a security nightmare. But I'll give you one that since you are making a good point. Think about auto racing, street racing. Imagine how many federal agents are probably undercover around that. Because again, you're dealing with auto theft, you're dealing with, not just speeding, you're dealing with people getting parts, how they buy the parts.
Yeah.
You have all types of...
Like Fast and Furious stuff.
Yeah.
But the real life version.
Yeah.
Not nearly as exciting, but...
Yeah, but it exists.
Yeah.
Well, that documentary we watched on Netflix, I think it was like Criminal Underground or something, and this reporter goes undercover with different things that are negative in the media or negative in people's lives, like drug dealers or people that strip cars, people that rob drug dealers, and he films them, and he gets permission from all these different leaders of gangs and stuff to be able to film them, and shows you how they do it. Like in 24 hours they took a VIN from a salvage truck that was in the yard, junkyard. And in 24 hours, they slapped that body of that truck onto that frame, and there's a whole new truck.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's crazy, but it's going on every day.
Another thing that you kind of got, like I'm always trying to play a little bit of devil's advocate. What about the reverse of your question? How many federal agencies, everything else, have been infiltrated by white supremacist groups, gangs, other criminal elements?
Well, also, it's interesting.
Prisons are a big case with that because a lot of guards have gang affiliation.
Yeah.
And people don't know it. So
people, like, whenever people talk about conspiracy theories, they're like, oh, so you think the government caused 9/11? Well, the government, people don't really think about, like, what is the government? It's actually a tool. So the government doesn't do anything. That's just a tool. But who's using the tool? So it's easy for these people to infiltrate these different groups. So, like, I think that's like,
that's why it's important, like going back to what we were talking about earlier, to elect people that we actually like,
No.
know.
And
that you could actually affect.
And
You
so
could
local governments are more powerful, in my opinion. They could be more powerful than
We're-
central government. You know what I'm saying?
We're starting a hashtag. Remember I told you so.
oh, we can't get into hashtags.
No,
dude.
this one I'm starting. Hashtag hit them in the pockets. And all I mean by that is,
I guess I could support that.
what they be, and it's basically what they're saying. When you if you care about your country, you care about what's really going on. The dude in Washington don't give a damn what you're talking about. He's elected. He's elected for the next 8 years.
Yeah, he gets free health care. He gets a salary.
He don't get paid.
He gets a house. He knows that he's going home to a roof. You know, I don't know if I'm doing that tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, and,
Well,
the guy that I elect locally
And that's not even counting, that's not even
doesn't.
counting how much money he getting under the table from
Exactly.
lobbyists and everything else.
Right.
Now the guy you elect, you can go to his house.
Yeah.
He has to see you in
Yeah.
some county meetings. You can sit at his front door and knock. He ain't got security. Y'all can have that conversation. I'm not saying threaten them or go to you.
Right. Yeah. We're not saying go find your congressman guy.
But I'm saying, you know, your city alderman, your people that you can go to the town hall meeting and, you know, they may not be engaging with you, but they ain't got no choice but to be engaging with you. You're gonna be there.
And we're not paying attention to it, and we're putting people in there that are abusing their power.
But
Like
that's-
here locally, we've had this festival called the Frisco Festival, and there was an elected judge, who will remain nameless because I don't want any trouble from the
So
law.
look it up for yourself.
But he was at the Frisco Festival, he was falling down drunk, and he alleged to have heart problems. Either one of us go there, get that fucked up, and see how far that excuse gets you.
Let's go one further. The Joe Jackson case. I will say her name because honestly, fuck her. She hits 3 construction workers, kills 1, injures 2. Admittedly drunk, failed the sobriety test, didn't go to jail. Fast forward a year and a half, 2 years, she gets 2 DWIs in less than a month. I asked this on Facebook, I ask it now. What is misdemeanor homicide? I'm asking.
Killing somebody's
Yeah,
felony.
Them 2 words don't go
Murder.
together.
It's
Yeah.
murder.
Like, I've heard of a lot of things. I've never heard of misdemeanor.
Would they charge Miss Walton of the Walmart family fortune whenever she
I think
was
the paperwork-
intoxicated and hit people?
I
What
think
they
the
charge her
paperwork came
with?
up missing.
And see, it's crazy too how there's just two different
Wait, careful,
standards.
dude. We might
Yeah, I know.
You know what? Actually, we gonna touch on.
This is the last
Oh,
video we're gonna make. Dreadnought.
I'm gonna touch on this.
We come up missing.
Why did I have to be in the last episode?
It's a pot. No, I'm gonna say this.
Watch out for the
and
red
then
dot.
I'm gonna get off the subject because
Snipers.
I don't want to go into this subject too deeply yet. But in a conversation I was having earlier about this, you know, it's weird because I would love to say it's a black thing or a Hispanic thing or whatever else. It really seems that in this country right now, a lot of us are playing by the rules, but the game has changed. A lot of us are playing by the rules that we've been taught is what's right and wrong.
We know the old rules, but there's a completely new set of rules that we're
Because-
somewhat unaware of.
Yeah, because it's affecting other people now. It used to be simple. Cop palms up, you do this, this, and this, and this.
And as long as you weren't of a minority, you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But now I'm
because you
being
knew-
dragged into this too.
Exactly. So now everybody, oh no, please believe you're a minority.
Yeah, because you're not rich.
Yeah, you're a minority. You're right there with us. That was the point I made at the last episode we did. They're like, if you're white and you make under, I said, 25,000, 50,000, you're, hey, welcome to the club. 'Cause
Yeah. They're one of us.
they don't like you either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anybody they can get revenue from, that's all you want. Your
Well, that's the
revenue
crazy thing is, you can look up your local government, like for instance the state of Arkansas has a Dun & Bradstreet. You can look up and see how much money that corporation made. It is a corporation now. They're in it for revenue. They're
stream.
making money.
No one wants you to know that. They
Well,
want you-
exactly, because that would
They
change
want
your
you-
whole thought of,
Look.
oh, well, my government's this thing that needs. Well, no, it's actually a corporation that's making. It's there to
At
make
our
money.
fingertips, we have the whole universe. But you would rather look at porn and figure out what the fuck the Kardashians are doing every day. And I'm gonna get off the
Yeah,
Kardashians. Lindsay
Look at
whoever.
Looking at porn only takes like 10 minutes, dude. What are you going to dedicate the rest of your time to? What's the rest of the internet filled with? There's a whole world out here. What do we, you know?
Learn something. Damn it. Anything.
No, but that is why like cops will hide behind bushes to try to catch you doing stuff. Like,
Which is
that's
illegal.
because they're trying to catch revenue. They have quotas, even though they're not supposed to. We've had in the local newspaper where cops have admitted, yeah, well, we kind of do have quotas.
But it takes money to run a government.
Yeah, not that, but
so
it takes money to run it, but
it.
they're building revenue, so that means people are making even more money.
With that said, because cops are going on strike for not getting paid enough, so if they're not making no money, and we know city workers that work for if they're not making the money, where's the money going? Because between tickets
well, then
and
the cops
everything
get
else,
frustrated.
well, it
they
gets
take it out on
divided. I mean, you get taxed, you get, there's schools.
Who owns stocks in this thing?
okay,
That's what I want to know.
let me answer it like this. Cops pull over an 18-wheeler 4 years ago, 5 years ago. They said it was estimated $3 million worth of weed. Now that's cash and drugs. Between that, vehicle seizures, everything else, let's say $10+ million a year.
Exactly.
Just in confiscating stuff. That's not counting fines, tickets, whatever.
Processing, yeah, all that.
Okay?
Bonds, because there's all bonds in there too.
Now,
Like
they get new vehicles every couple of months, so that money's somewhere. From what I'm understanding now, after this Ferguson thing, because that's one thing Ferguson did bring out, if it didn't do anything else. All these stockpiles of weapons for just in case. So where is the money going? I've always wondered that. It's like insurance
who
companies.
owns the stocks?
It's like
in the
insurance
state
companies.
governments?
Where does that money go? You've been paying insurance your whole damn life.
Yeah, it's in case shit happens.
Well, that's because
But if you die, you get 5%.
Right.
Your family gets 5% of that money. Where's the rest of it going?
Well, it's gotta pay for the guy sitting in
And that's
the
crazy. That's like one product that you legally have to have if you want to be able to
It's extortion.
drive. How is that like that? How should that be legal? You have to have that product.
Now here's the thing: you have to be kind of careful about that.
I mean, I guess you could
Because
get a bus
technically-
pass and you could.
Technically, because I made this comparison before, technically, that's the Affordable Care Act. It's the same thing as car insurance. Everybody has to have it.
Yeah, you can't drive the car without it. Well, I mean, you could, but you legally.
Yeah, now legally you can't. And so that's why a lot of people complain about the Affordable Care Act, but you've really technically been doing it your whole damn life.
with cars. Boom.
Yeah, it's with your life instead of cars. You got insurance, so if something happens, you're taken care of, and other people are taken care of. Shut up, go about your way. Kind of makes sense.
Right.
It's more life insurance that I have a problem with, because if I don't feel like I'm gonna die, or I know I'm not gonna take it with me, why am I giving you roughly 20% of my fucking check
Right.
and never getting it back? And neither is my family. Seems like extortion.
Yeah. It's like
And you can't-
It's like Social Security when we get older. I gotta have it.
Yeah, all the Social Security is spent. We're just kind of.
You know why? Because we keep picking fights.
Yeah.
We don't. We don't have.
Back to the elected officials. Keep picking fights.
See, do you think it will ever get to a point where the 50 states will? Because I mean, technically, they are supposed to be their own separate countries with their own government system. That's the way it is set up still.
You
That's
gonna,
right,
look
but
at it like
but
that.
to do
you
that,
gonna regret saying that.
yeah, but to do that, it's like I said, you have to elect your local government. Your local government is that much more powerful. Like, if people would really understand that, because they're like you're saying, they're the people that are here day to day, every day. You know, if a fire burns down the only bank in the town, it's going to affect the local government. It's not going to affect Washington, at all.
There's no regulation.
It's going to affect everybody that put their money into that bank and saved it. And if the systems, let's say they're not technologically advanced enough to have like servers and all that shit, and it just all got burned up, and there's no record of it. It all got burned up. Then it's the local government that's going to have to come together and pull them out, because that's the people we elected.
And not.
I mean, if you trust the central government, it'd be like saying you're going to trust FEMA, that they're going to come and bail you out, and we already know how that happens.
Yes.
Well, the crazy thing is, the president we don't directly elect. It's the electoral colleges, but the local government, that's the one that we actually have a say
Not
on.
trying to go into a conspiracy thing, but don't you think it's odd that over kind of reason why you don't vote?
That's the reason I don't vote for president.
But you're finna vote this year.
I don't know if I vote for president.
Follow me. The president's not going to be elected this year.
Oh yeah,
My point being that they've trivialized the local election so much that the average person doesn't vote for it. You don't vote till it's president time. You ask the average person, they don't want to vote till it's time to vote for a president. Who made that decision? Who
The
profited?
media.
Who profited? Exactly. Who profited from that decision?
Because the media has the control. They rather blow out of proportion some senator in Massachusetts while I'm living in Arkansas, and they're blowing him out of proportion because he might be the presidential nominee 10 years from now. I don't give a fuck about that guy.
Yeah.
I care about the dude that I just elected last week, or is the guy that's, the reason that the company I worked for 20 years, like your dad, is being bought out by China, and then so their jobs are getting exported.
Exactly.
The local government should be saying, whoa, why are you taking 500 jobs, 1,000 jobs away from my town?
Well, at least you should be able to look the person in the eye and ask them a question.
Yeah,
and give them the answer.
exactly.
Do you guys think that the local person even realizes that they don't directly elect the president? Like, we don't really have.
I didn't learn it until I went to college.
Al Gore.
All my life, I thought that we, the people, elected the president. All my life, and then when I went to school, when I went to college, because they didn't even teach that in high school around here. There might be some high schools around the U.S. That taught it, but in our high school, that was an AP, something. That was in an advanced placement. Why does it have to be advanced placement?
Because
exactly. Because they rather keep you dumb. They want to dumb you down. Because if you're dumb, then they're easy to manipulate.
I'm glad you said that. But that brings up another point I made. Our school systems are set up to make kids fail, and by that I mean this: if you're an exceptionally intelligent kid, the teacher talks to you. The teacher talks to you. You know what I'm saying? You get a lot of attention from the teacher because you're smart and they see you going places. If you're really, really slow, you get attention from the teacher. If you're moderate in that class, so let's say a class of 30 people.
Kind of glazed over.
Let's say a class of 30 people. 5 of them are ridiculously smart, 5 are ridiculously dumb. Those 20 in the middle don't get any attention. Teacher's not talking to them. And they might be struggling, but barely getting by. The teacher's not going to give them the right thing. That's messed up. And so you're producing whole groups of people.
You're just passing them along.
That you're just passing them along. And not teaching them anything, you're just making them sheep. You're making them drones. So just be comfortable in that little middle. I'm not dumb enough for you to come talk to me. And I'm not smart enough for you to
Right.
So I'm just going to do the bare minimum so you leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with that, just remember, you really don't directly elect the president. That's the electoral colleges. Al Gore won popular vote in 2000, but George Bush won the electoral
I
college
did think
vote.
that both work together. I did think that for the long time. I know that now, but for the long time.
Hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, dreadnaughtlegion.com, and we'll be back at you with another episode.